Well, I'd like to start by saying God bless Nigeria. God bless my country, Nigeria, a great country, the best gift of God to mankind, a great nation, prosperous nation, beautiful people. That's always been my prayer. So I'm in this whole business of politics because of the love for my country. I genuinely love this country, and I want the best for this country. And I'm willing to make any form of sacrifice to build this great new Nigeria, knowing that our nation is going through a whole lot in terms of what is called challenges, which are primarily man-made challenges that we're all going through. I have decided to run for this great office as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to change the narrative and to sing a new song for this nation. So, the world over, we know that we are not a failed nation, and we're not a failed generation, and that if anything, we're the best.
Interesting. What makes you think that you're the man for the job? Because, I mean, several people have thrown in their hats into the ring, declaring their, their ambitions also. But what's that thing that makes you so certain that you are the man to steer the ship, especially now that Nigerians are yearning for good leadership? Senator, can you hear me?
I can hardly hear you. I think the internet is breaking.
Okay, so I'll ask the question again. What makes you think that you're the man for this job? Because you sounded, I watched your declaration speech, you sounded so certain that you are the one that is the right person to steer this ship towards the future that Nigerians desire. What is your political motivation? Can you hear me? I think that we have a lost connection with the Senator. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll still have Senator Rochas Okorocha with us. Stay.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamude Akuga at 9 p.m. every Friday evening on PlusTvAfrica as he probes deep in search of solutions.
Inside the Niger Delta with Mamude Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region.
Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. Welcome to your favorite program, The Moment of Truth, brought to you by the Citadel Global Community Church. Our God is a God of salvation, far above all principality and power, and might and dominion, that regardless of what happens in this season, you will escape. Say to your neighbor, there is no peace for the wicked. The lazy man does not roast what he took in hunting, but diligence is a man's precious possession. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might.
Moment of Truth with Pastor Tunde Bakare, Sundays, 7 p.m. on PlusTvAfrica.
It for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Vicky November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on PlusTvAfrica.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
businesses in Africa can be very challenging. In Nigeria, it is particularly intimidating, and successful builders have learned how to navigate a hostile environment to unlock opportunities. But one major challenge businesses face is how to filter through the noise and identify where their ideal customers exist. Get insight and practical steps from industry players and captains of industries. Hear success stories to help you make informed decisions as you scale your business in Nigeria. Watch Business Insights at this time on PlusTvAfrica.
Still watching Plus Politics. Apologies for the break. We're still being joined by former governor of Imo State, Senator Rochas Okorocha. Senator, before we had that break in connection, I was asking what your political motivation is, because we all listened to that speech that you gave when you made your ambition known to the whole country. You talked so glowingly about the things that you would want to do to change the fortunes of Nigerians. But what is that conviction that you have that makes you think that you're the guy for this job? Again, what are the plans that you have? Every political campaign has a blueprint. And how do you intend to carry them out?
I can see you're taking so many questions at the center, and I want to sing a new song. I want to change the narrative. This has been what I really want to do. And I don't like the fact that our nation is being insulted by countries and other nations. Our passport has no value. People treat us like anything because we need to restore the dignity of the country. That's what we do. Now, asking to me, why do I think that I'm a person for the job at this moment? I've tried to see if I continue searching for something. I'm not satisfied. I want to see a great new Nigeria come into place, born out of vision, born out of passion to make this nation grow. That's the question I've answered. And I want to inform you that I'm not in this job for what I can get. I'm in this job for what I can give. So for me, it's a display of sacrifice and high level of patriotism, which is born out of the love for my country, and not necessarily the fear of the law, the sentiments of love. Now, what plans do I have? First of all, for you to say what plans you have, you have to identify or describe the Nigeria of today. First, the nation we call Nigeria today is facing so many challenges. And what some of the major challenges can be classified into three categories. And the three categories, one is the unity of this country. Now, the unity of this country needs to be strengthened, especially for a call of separation, cessation, attendant insecurity. Now, that is a very key point. And I found myself appropriate and rightful, too, that as a president of Nigeria, I can unify this country, and Nigerians will trust me, irrespective of their religion, tribe, color, whatever. That Nigerians will believe in me, that I've earned their trust. How do I earn their trust? I'm not saying I will make enlightenment, but I will say I have strengthened the unity of the country in the past. I'm an Igbo man, born of Igbo parents, educated in the North, grew up in the North, but had my financial empowerment from the Southwest. So you can see, for me, Nigeria is a constituency. And that saw me, I was made a lot of establishment because I believe in this country. I've made establishment in the Southwest, in Ibadan. I've made establishment in Sokoto, Zaria, Jos, Kano, Bauchi, Adamawa, Imo, Enugu, of recent CrossFit, where I'm training more than 25,000 indigent children. If I don't love this country, I will not do that. So, I'm sure everything. Believe me, my track record speaks for me, and everyone will believe that Rochas will truly unite this country and unite this country. The second point I'm making is this nation now requires somebody who can make sacrifice, giving all that you have.
Senator, are you still there?
To benefit mankind and benefit your people. I'm talking about compassion. I'm there.
Okay.
Oh, you're not hearing me at all.
I can hear you now. Yes.
You lost me where? Where do you get off? Where do I get off? So I know how to start.
Yeah, you talked about training children in Cross River.
Yeah, okay, fantastic. So I said to you that if I said this nation requires now, I don't mean tomorrow, especially where institutions are not working. This question requires some kind of somebody with compassionate heart, somebody who really cares. I mean, caring not from the bottom of your heart. And I think I care. I care, especially as it affects the downturn, the use of this country. And that this is very important. But let me tell you the most important thing that I think I can address, the issue of the economy. Because that's a pivot upon which everything in this country rotates. That is what you call the insecurity, that's what is called the poverty, this is what is called everything is around the economy. Once the economy is right, everything will be right. When people say they will address the issue of insecurity and they will address the issue of poverty, the question is how? How is the question? And that's what nobody in this country has answered that question. And by the way, if somebody can give me a better answer, I don't have my time. If it's somebody better than me, I'll give one. Because for me, it's about sacrifice. But let me tell you about how. Yeah, let me even tell the country that you find the economy of the nation today. The make it summarize it that for every 1 billion naira problem this nation has today, they have only 10,000 naira or they have to borrow. That's how bad it is. The question is, how can you create one? We need somebody who can create one. Somebody who can now bring plenty, let me put it in the bold English, bring plenty of resources, money, to take care of Nigeria's problem. Because our expenditure far outweighs our income. And that's a problem that we have. And this will take the business-minded person. Unfortunately, most people aspiring for this position, excuse me, do not have business idea or how to turn around the economy of Nigeria. That's the problem we have. And how do you know somebody who can?
But is business acumen the only thing that you need? Because, I mean, again, I started by talking about the many problems of Nigeria. And I almost stopped at asking what you think the biggest problem is, but now you're saying it, that it's dealing with the economy. But how do you deal with an economy when the atmosphere in itself is not safe for businesses to even come in and thrive, including the local businesses that should be the one running the economy? So you can't talk about the economy in isolation of insecurity, can you?
No, you're wrong. I just let a bit.
Who wants to do business in an environment that is not safe?
Just for those are, you see, poverty and insecurity is like husband and wife. And whenever you have high level of poverty, you must have high level of insecurity. So you see, when you are, let me put it this way, if what you are talking about, you want to solve the problem of the symptoms, not the disease. That's the problem we have with most politicians who are saying what you are saying now. You see, you have to deal with the disease for the symptoms to disappear. The symptoms is symptoms is insecurity. Insecurity is a symptom of the disease of what is, and that brings me the ability to create work. I'm talking about vision now. And if you ask me, how can I create work? I did that in Imo State. Let me give you a smallest example that you might understand. I wish the video can get me so I can look at the facts. Now, listen. Now, look at what I did in Imo, for instance. When I came to Imo State, I realized that I had a big problem, big economic problem, and insecurity was another of the day. There was a lot of kidnapping. There was so much of children not going to school, out of school children. Now, I came up with a vision. First, I had to create wealth. You ask me, did I depend on the subvention coming from federal government, which makes everybody cashier, or my internal generated revenue? How do I create wealth? Now, first, I identified land. This land that you're standing on as a capital, and I treated as a wealth set aside for production of further wealth. And that what people do not know, that land is a huge capital. And that's what I did in Imo State. What do I do? By certification of land alone, I raised billions and billions of naira to do the infrastructure, produce free education, build the best cargo airport, build the Central Hospital, 540 schools, the best high court. I did a lot with free education. Now, when I came to Imo State, the plot of land in Imo State was 350,000 500,000. You can ask questions. When I finished with him, I left him and said the same plot of land came back to 20 million, 30 million, 40 million, 50 million. What is being generated? That's what I mean by thinking outside the box. We have so much wealth in this country, but the vision to change it into money or create jobs or create wealth, create the middle class is what is lacking. Even if you import the whole arms today from all over the world to fight insecurity in Nigeria, it will not end. You can only kill 1 million, another 1 million will come. That's the problem. So poverty is not what do you call it? Security is not your problem. Address poverty and insecurity will die. Create job for the youth, insecurity will die. My dear, this is the problem of your country.
And so in your fighting poverty, you're talking about wealth creation, and all you've mentioned is land, and this is what you did in Imo State.
I just gave you one.
One. But you're running, that's Imo State. Maybe land can be a wealth creation technique, but this is Nigeria, a country bigger than Imo State. How do you intend to do this? Don't forget that all of the states in this country have different needs, and different strategies need to be undertaken to deal with those problems. For example, a state like Cross River, my state, that has, we called it a civil service state. At some point when we had Donald Duke, it was tourism that was the mainstay. But now it has nothing. How do you intend to deal with that issue?
Now, but this is again very wrong. You see, don't even say a state is the civil service state. That's a bad name to give to a state. It's not right.
Well, it does not have any income earning abilities other than tourism at the time. Right now, we have industries that are moribund and are unable to generate income. Salaries have not been paid for months. What do you call that state, sir?
I don't know about that, but I do know that the governor is doing his best. I don't know about that. I don't engage governments at this discussion. Talk about national issue. President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, I want to lead.
Exactly.
Now, the point I'm saying that every state in this country is viable. Cross River can be good for agriculture. It can be good for tourism. It can be good for human capital development. It can be good for many things. Now, I just take for instance, let me come again to give you my line of thought. If you come back to Nigeria as a country, from Sokoto to Kwara, got the distance of almost how many kilometers, is all gold, for instance. We have so much human resources, material resources, enough to make Dubai out of this country, to make America, Germany out of this country. What we have not been able to do is that we have not been able to manage the resources, our God-given resources, and our nation properly. So Nigeria is not a poor nation. Nigeria is a wealthy nation with poor citizens, arising from ignorance and arising from management vision. I'm just giving you that. Okay. So last time I asked somebody here in the Federal Capital Territory, why can't FCT here be like Dubai? What's the difference? What do they have in Dubai we don't have here? Well, probably it takes a businessman in Dubai to say, listen, OPM, other people's money. Do you know Nigerian money is in Dubai, developing Dubai? America is in Dubai. Who told you the money came from Dubai? Now, if you don't know how to master this OPM, other people's money to develop the source of the land, you cannot do it. Okay. Another big problem we have, my dear, is the issue of education. Education is faulty. The education system is tailored towards the, education system for where institutions work. What you need now is tailoring your education to such technologically based education that can, if like, transform the comatose resources of your land to create wealth. Very easy. This I'm saying. It's not. But
Senator, the average Nigerian, and I mean the average Nigerian, has a bachelor's or has a higher diploma. We're very educated people in this part of the country. We have, the middle class at least. We have a lot of people who have paper qualifications that do not have jobs. That do not have. No. I did not say all of the people in the middle class. I said many. In other words, there could be a few that are not as educated. But what I'm emphasizing is that, yes, our education might not be great, but we leave the shores of this country and we become better. we do bigger things, we're more successful. So I don't know if we can really say that changing education or the face of education will solve our problems. But quickly, I want to go back to the economy. You talked about something in your presentation when you declared. You talked about the fact that our budget is also a problem. And you said something about having, I'd like to quote it directly. You talked about a budgeting, task force budget. And I asked myself what you meant by a task force budget. Maybe you can explain to us as Nigerians what that is and how it would help the economy of the country.
You see, my dear, if you jump this interview, I will not be able to communicate. My problem is Nigerians listen to me and getting what is in this there. What I've just said to you, in fact, education is spelled wrong. We need education now. What we need is to have a degree in electrical installation, a degree in plastering, ordinary plastering, a degree in tiling, a degree in building, a degree in agriculture, a degree in animal farm, a degree in whatever it is, specific for specific job. We want to change the entire thing. But to Nigerians, English language is education. English language is just a language, it's not education. Let me get back to that. So I did that in Imo when I introduced.
Senator, we can't hear you anymore.
What is called the Imo State College of Advanced Degree. You can still go for a 2-month club. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I said I did that in Imo, where if you have the first degree or master's degree, you still have to go for a 3-month course in Imo State College of Advanced Professional Studies to get a professional certificate that you can be your own boss, not waiting for a white-collar job. This is the new Nigeria we're talking about. But coming back to what is called the task force budgetary system, God bless you. I didn't know that you listened to that. Now, what you see, the bureaucratic bottlenecks we have in dispensing the budget of Nigeria is 40. And that is what is called the corruption line. So if you have a project here, say it's budgeted 1 billion to be constructed in Oboko, my village in Imo State. Before that 1 billion travels across the Macaulay, it has gone back to 500 million. Before it gets to Enugu, it has gone to 250 million. Before it gets to Imo, it has gone to 100 million. Before it gets to my Boko, my village, is suffering from HIV or shock and is dead. That's what we practice. So we're saying straight point, like a task force, is a guided budget that which must produce that for which it is meant for. And that will help a whole lot because our culture, you must bring our culture to bear, our lifestyle to bear in governance. We're just borrowing everything from America, from Britain, from Germany, not knowing that their culture is quite different. In Nigeria, we say my own is my own and our own is our own. So that philosophy, that belief must bring to bear in governance to bring more results. For instance, what does the Minister of Transport, why does he have to, Minister of Works, what business does he have going to become my village to go and do it? In that spirit? These are what is called, and by so doing, he will take about 20 million naira extra costs from security people and travelers inspected project. This, we must cut our quote according to material available, not according to our size. That's the economic theory of what agriculture. I will read for example. So the task force is something specific. You get it, you finish with it. Here is your cash, go and deliver. Deliver on what you take.
To your speech, I listened to it over and over again. You seem to, have the gift of the gab, and you seem to have convinced the people in the room, and maybe other people. But Nigerians seem to also be at a point where they've been talked out. They've heard so much. The Buhari administration made a lot of promises, and here we are. We're not really enjoying all of those promises that we hoped for. And permit me to say that you also were part of the people who brought this government into power. But here you are saying you want to build a better Nigeria. But did you not foresee that when you pushed for the Buhari administration? And why should Nigerians trust you to do what you promised?
No, again, let me take you. You see, what we have in this country is a campaign of deceit. People say what you cannot do. You record what you've never done in the past. That's vision man. I did that as a governor in Imo State, where education became free in Imo State, from primary to secondary to university. If I say I'll do it as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, believe me, I will do it. But if somebody who has never trained one child tells you make education free, don't believe it, he's deceiving you. They just can end my trust. If I say to Nigerians, I believe in the unity of this country, I'm not an Igbo man, but you see me in Sokoto, you see me in Kano, you see me in Zaria, you see me in Bauchi, Adamawa, Jos, Oyo, Oyo, in Southwest, in Cross River recently, which I just started. If I could do this in the past, out of love for humanity and for Nigerians, believe me, I'll preach the gospel of unity. Now, if I tell you I can make 1 naira to become 2 naira, I was a child of pork hunters, working on the streets, trading on oranges and coconut. If I can go through those lines and become what I am today, then you should also believe me that I can create wealth. So let nobody deceive you on what they cannot provide. And then use the opportunity to condemn what is going on now in the country, which I hate, and the kind of campaign of calumny going on nowadays. I want to appeal to Nigerians that this time around, Nigerians must be seen to be civilized. And let us talk about issues, not sentiments, which has finished this country. Take, for instance, this campaign of calumny about people are carrying out videos about elder statesman Tinubu. It is wrong, it's condemnable. Nobody should campaign against anybody's health, whether true or not. But campaign on issue. You can even say to Tinubu, listen, we have not done this, we have not done this, we don't believe we can do it. Then use his health status or what everything. It's not only not good, it's condemnable. I want to appeal to Nigeria culture.
Okay.
But let us be on campaigns of issues. You that I'm talking to, my dear young lady, I want this your new program to start whatever cost. Try and get people to explain to you how, which is what I've been lacking. And I'm able to explain you just a bit of how, small how. And if you ask me how you're able to make education free for 25,000, I'll tell you how. I'm not the richest man in this country. But if you're willing to make sacrifice, you can do that. If you are punished solid heart, you can do that. So Nigerians can trust me.
Okay.
Nigerians can.
Quickly, before I let you go, you also are aware of the canvassing for the Southeast president. We have seen southern governors, we've seen leaders of thoughts push that political parties zone their presidential tickets to the south generally. But then, of course, Ndigbo have also been pushing that there be an Igbo president. You're not the first person who has, who's from that extraction that has decided that they want to be president. But with all that you've said today and what you said on the day you declared that you were going to run for this office, how much energy and vigor and power do you think that Ndigbo will throw behind you? What's the weight of Ndigbo in supporting you? Do you see them throwing their weight behind you as you move ahead for this presidency, journey?
First, let me define an Igbo man for you. Igbo man is the most misunderstood human being in this country. An Igbo man is a wonderful man, a bridge builder, who leaves his hometown, his home state, travel to another person's state, and contribute to the political, economic development of that state, sometimes without remembering that he has to do that in his own state or Igbo land. But it is only Igbos that do that. That's why I call them the true Nigerians. They are the true Nigerians. Just like you cannot see any of these aspirants now who will tell you, no aspirant in Nigeria contesting for this election that is not from Igbo land that has put one single store or shop or one block in Igbo land. That makes you know that Igbos will really be the people for this nation when it comes to the presidency of Nigeria. But talking about me and the Igbo, I understand my people. They are not good beginners. They are good finishers. Just wait until I pick this ticket. Igbos will rush to Abuja here. I want to push everybody away and start the movement. And that is who they are. They are not good beginners. They are good finishers.
Are you certain that you stand a chance, against all of the people within your party who have already put their foot forward for this office?
Listen, my dear.
Do you stand a chance?
not even stand a chance. I stand one of the best chances if APC wants to have victory in this election. No chance should do that. And I'll tell you what. Because if you put the wrong candidate, people will take it. And why would they take that from me? Because of my massive followers from the north, and anybody can say that. Because I can easily be accepted across the length and breadth of this country. So, but if you give to somebody who is, what will you start? So I know I stand a very good chance, and not because of that. It's the vision in me that is driving me, that makes me, convinces me that this is the right time for Nigeria to go and move forward.
Okay. Well, and if you do not pick this ticket, would you throw your weight behind another person?
I will pick it. I'll pick it.
Okay. Well, then let's stay positive. Senator Ross Okorocha, we want to thank you for being part of the conversation. We appreciate you taking the time out.
Thank you. But next time, let's get better equipment so the internet will not be a problem.
All right.
But I support you, and I will support this Plus television. Congratulations.
All right. Thank you so much. Well, thank you all for staying with us. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we discuss the third force. Yes, the third force is saying that they're coming out with a party just before the elections. Stay with us.
When they get most of these armed robbers and these criminals, they will parade them in the public. They will ask these criminals to demonstrate how they carry out their criminal activities. That is an erroneous process by the policing system. So that was where kidnap took the boom. The kidnap market took the boom because the risk implication in kidnapping, Mary Ann, is very low compared to the risk implication in robbery. So
members of this political class have sold their souls to greed and voracious accumulation. So I'm sitting there thinking, you know what? We can write the Constitution as much as we write the Constitution as much as we want, but if these people, the politicals that we have now, and those who will work the Constitution, they will always find a way of bastardizing it. You'll be shocked if one goes into itemizing some of the laws we have in this jurisdiction that have been made so functionally useless because of the ingenuity of the Nigerian political class at making any form of legislation or any form of rule nonsensical when it comes to, perverting it.
The current Commissioner of Police in Lagos State, Mr. Odumosi, I hope I got the pronunciation right.
Yeah.
Has a very unadmirable history of disregarding the rule of law. The man seems disconnected from democracy. He cannot appreciate why citizens should express themselves. He cannot understand why Nigerians should be aggrieved, why Lagosians should come out to express their opinion on issues of concern. And he has consistently over time clamped down on peaceful protesters, assaulted journalists, led invasion of protest venues.
Front known as the Third Force Movement is expected to form a mega party this week. A spokesperson for the group, Olawale Okunuyi, stated this. Okunuyi said the group would not be registering a party afresh, but would adopt an existing party, change its name and its logo. He added that the Independent National Electoral Commission would be informed of the convention of the new party. Some prominent Nigerians said to be in the group include Professor Pat Utomi, a former Deputy Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Professor Kingsley Moghalu, Pastor Itwa Igodalo, former INEC Chairman, Professor Atahiru Jeiga, and former Minister of Education, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili. To join us to discuss this conversation is Olawale Okunuyi. He's the Director General, Intervention Movement, Nigeria Intervention Movement. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be with you.
Great. I just want to go back to a few years ago, if not last year, where Professor Utomi was asked the question if the third force was going to metamorphose from a movement into a political party, and he vehemently said no. But fast forward to yesterday or 2 days ago, the third force is telling us that they are going to be a political party. What should Nigerians believe here?
Professor Utomi would not have told you that.
Well, it's printed on the pages of our newspapers.
July 2020, he would have told you that about National Consultative Front. Maybe another platform to mobilize Nigeria, galvanize a movement that would try to ensure a proper constitutional democracy, and then try to provide a platform for Nigeria to engage the 2023 elections so that they can also sponsor their own candidates and then they can rescue Nigeria. So that cannot be Professor Utomi speaking for National Consultative Front on that matter. The vision statement and mission statement of the National Consultative. So maybe you were talking to him as to other initiatives, and then he could have said that. But on this matter, I am the National Secretary.
Okay, let's move on to the people who make up this party or this party that is about to emerge. We've seen the former Education Minister, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, Professor Pat Utomi, even the pastor of Trinity Church, Pastor Itwa Igodalo. These are very interesting and very forward-thinking persons, people who have been very vocal in their criticism of, the political space and, talking about good governance. But then I go back to what happened in 2015, where we had the likes of Kingsley Moghalu and Dr. Obi Ezekwesili and some other people who were not necessarily in agreement as to a merger. But now we see these people in this political party. Shouldn't the party have, instead of forming a political party, distributed themselves into other political parties that are already strong enough, that have already been through the process, that have a structure of sorts, to change the system? Or is it that you think that starting a political party a few months to the election is what Nigerians need, and this is the savior of our political environment?
Well, what we have is an amalgam of ideologues who want to rescue Nigeria. Those who have listed may not even be at the level of running for office or playing politics. The National Consultative Front has a lot of initiative, part of which is the constitutional dialogue that will be launched in March to try and redeem what we have as constitution. Nigeria.
Mr. Lawale, can you hear me? Mr. Okunuyi, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I think we have a disconnection issue there. I'm going to try again. Mr. Okunuyi, can you hear me? I think that we are going to quickly take a break, and when we come back, we'll be wrapping up this segment. Stay with us.
In raising our kids, parents should stop playing God The internet is actually using the people.
But when you are looking for money to help other people, then it becomes easy.
Don't rush into marriage. I always say this. You rush in, you rush out.
Family is the bedrock of every society and the essence of life.
On Today with John and Helen, we dig deep into family values in every sense of the word.
Join us every Saturday at 9:15 a.m. on PlusTvAfrica, DSTV channel 408.
With you, we play a part in strengthening the values passed from generation to generation.
I had no desire to study law, none whatsoever. I was more inclined to fine arts. My only ambition, I would say, was to become the chief prosecutor. For me, politicians are a bit too playful. That's what I believe. And since '99, we've seen how much investment in social events, in launching some streets that you just started, and the whole day will be spent on this occasion. Rich people are generally law-abiding. We are not law-abiding. So another problem of administration is that people don't follow the rules.
Timeless Conversations, airing every Sunday at 8:30 p.m.
When you actually buy your land and you want to build, it's more expensive than when you buy into a property that is being developed for affordable housing. You buy the house plot for 4 million, you will clear the land, you will pay the money fees, the community fees, you would start possibly fill the land, and then from there again you start producing. Now, because there's no large economy of scale, you will actually buy your block around 300 naira per block. If you are dealing with an affordable housing company, your block cost might come up to about 220, 250 because they are producing themselves. We try to eliminate third party as much as possible. If your land is triangular,
Plus politics, and before we went on the break, we still have Lawale Okuniyi, I beg your pardon. He is of the Third Force. Now, Mr. Okuniyi, before we went on that break, I was asking you about, the strengths of the party, being that it's not even inaugurated yet, but you have given us, the nitty-gritty of the party. How do you intend to gain the trust of Nigerians to support you, being that you are, in quote, a fresher in this particular game as a brand new political party that will be inaugurated? You will have to convince Nigerians that they should vote for your party or whoever is running on that umbrella, under that umbrella.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I asked the question, how do you intend to earn the trust of Nigerians to support your political party?
Not freshers. That's the first thing to say.
Okay.
Some of us have been in the system politically, and we have experience more than even those that you think are in APC and PDP. And what became of that was a function of our effort during Nadeko days and even afterwards that became APC. And we have time with all of this. It's just that we need to also mobilize and encourage and be recruited to do. Therefore, just watch out for a form mega force that will rescue Nigeria.
I'm wondering how you intend to. I mean, I respect the fact that you say many of you have been playing in the political space, but Nigerians have also gotten used to the major political parties, even though at this point, maybe Nigerians might be looking elsewhere. But I ask again, what is that strategy that you would use to get Nigerians on your side? It's not about having men and women of great repute. I mean, we have them spread across different political parties. But do you have members that have the thing that Nigerians are looking for that would bring about good governance come 2023?
Our value here that we need the constitutional architecture of the country. And we also need to make sure that we go to template that will eradicate that. The way we are going, Nigeria will suffer a lot of poverty if nothing is done. Poverty and collapse, because nobody is doing it. And therefore, the rescue team will be rescued. It's here with those that you can see their track record who have tried to help the country move forward from the days of the British. So we are still doing the same thing. Because those who took over in 1998 were essentially people who put off their party to put us at that and then pick up the resources of the country into private force. And therefore, it is incumbent on those who are still coming to come together in one party, in one block, and to exert a formidable force in an electoral, in a ballot against those who are political armed robbers.
Okay. All right. Mr. Okuni, we want to thank you so much for being part of the conversation. Unfortunately, the connection has been very unfair, but thank you so much. Olawale Okuni is the Director General, Nigeria Intervention Movement, and he's a member of the Third Force. All right. So you're also National Secretary of the NC Front. Thank you so much for being here. All right. Well, thank you all for staying with us. We'll take a quick breaker, and I'll give you my take right after it. Well, here's my take. Lately, we've been, unsettled by the abysmal leadership currently offered by the political class, and we really are earnestly looking forward to a rescue mission at the polls come 2023. The anticipation keeps growing, and no one is really left out, including politicians. We've seen some interesting permutations in the jostle for the next presidential candidate, and now we hear of a third force that's touted to be the savior of sorts. But beyond the primitive sentiments that we've had of ethnicity, religion, and age, the reality that stares us in the face is that we require more committed leadership and citizens' engagement than we've ever had as a country if we must turn this somewhat broken nation into a hopeful one. So the question is, are we ready to not just have these conversations, but walk the talk? Like I always say, it's our duty as Nigerians to be resolute, to be more deliberate in our choices, knowing that this will one way or the other determine our nation's future. Nigeria's future is in your hands, and that's my take. And to round up the show tonight, Nigerians tell us how they think the third force will be doing in this election. I am Mary Ann Okon. Have a good evening.
Nigeria, by extension, Africa, is faced with a lot of challenges. The growing youth population with little engagement, that is a ticking time bomb. We are a blessed people with diverse culture and highly cerebral minds who have a lot to say. And yes, we are talking. It is important we drive the right conversation that informs, inspires, influences thoughts and action. If we say there's beauty in our diversity, then let us embrace our diverse culture. We must continue to courageously be the voice of transformation as we are the hope for the future. Yesterday's conversations shape today. What are you saying to shape your tomorrow? We know you have a lot to say, and we are here to hear you.
For upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bookie November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Usayome Sale, and today I'm joined by my amazing anchors, Noma Fanga, and we have a guest co-anchor. Hello! Alero Boyo, how you doing? Hi. She's a customer partnership manager.
Yes, please.
You're a fun girl. For those that do not know, just follow her on Instagram. So I
am Alex Boyo.
She's so interesting.
I am.
You know? So what are you looking forward to the conversation today?
I mean, I am looking forward to experiencing all the awesomeness I've been watching. And I mean, I believe that you and Norma being in your presence is going to give me the like I'm feeling the vibe already, but I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely.
Super excited.
Norma, you're looking gorgeous. I love that. I love the outfit.
For the way I was feeling all week, this crowned it, as in I felt graceful today.
This is beautiful.
I love it.
The person that made it possible, you know yourself.
Household watcher.
Mwah.
It's beautiful.
It's amazing. It's beautiful.
Yes,
in fact, we need to bring her back on the show. Let her come and tell us what's happening since the store opening.
Yes.
Because it's not easy to have a store in Ikoyi.
It is not. It is not at all.
But you know what? Today, am I supposed to explain what happened to me today? There's no point.
No. How would they know?
How would they know?
They wouldn't know.
They would never know.
You woke up like this.
I woke up like this. All right, so today we're actually discussing. We found a picture that was so interesting on social media. A woman that was had I think about 500,000 naira and $100. Yeah, that's the picture. You know, I've been saying this thing that begging is a profession in this country, and so I want to talk about begging. And here's what we found as today's quote: "Never stand begging for that which you have the power to earn." This is from Miguel de Cavante. All right, so the Federal Capital Territory Administration has denied a female beggar, Hadiza Ibrahim, who was allegedly found in possession of a cash sum of 500,000 and $100 in Abuja. The spokesperson of the Federal Capital Territory Administration and Social Development Secretariat, Shaka Sunday, who confirmed the development to Punch, said that the woman was in the agency's custody. They denied her freedom at the Buari area council, and he said the suspect had yet. When we open our phone lines, I really love to hear your experience with beggars. You know, what do you think about this picture? Do you think, you know, she got it through begging, or, you know, something else? But that's our conversation tonight. But let's take a break first. When we return from the break, to see what we found in the news. All right, you're still watching Ways. Single Awareness Day. It's on February 15th. How do I feel it's targeted at Alero? So if you're single and you totally despise Valentine's Day in all of its commercial glory, this is the perfect holiday for you to, for you. Originally, Valentine's Day became a sad day, so they call it Singles Awareness Day. That's sad. It became a sad day for people without significant order, so they decided to revolt and take that acronym back. So they chose empowerment and self-love instead of indulging in a self-loathing sorry. And in words of pop sensation Lizzo, true love finally happens when you're by yourself. So Single Awareness Day is now celebrated by loving yourself. So all the single ladies,
It's not only single ladies, single men as well.
Now, we are here. No, but the truth is, single men are there, but the stigma, so many stigmas around women. But when they see a 50-year-old man that is single, they know they talk, handsome bloke. What's that guy's name before he finally got married? What's that guy's name? The one in Hollywood that before he finally got
Idris Elba.
Not Idris.
Idris.
The king of
George Clooney.
Thank you, George Clooney, the king of singleness. They were saying it was cool, it was this. But if it was a woman in her 50s, never married, they will call.
The biological clock is ticking.
They will also even call like prayer warriors on your case. You will take you to a mountain.
Probably a spiritual problem.
So love yourself today. Be sad today, right?
In a good way.
In a good way.
Why do you have to be sad though?
Now be sad now. Singles awareness.
Oh yeah,
day.
the acronym.
Be conscious of sadness today. But that's it though. All right, so let's move into our story. But Alera, really, you're not single. Don't be claiming this.
Well, I believe this is national TV, so if you feel like I belong to you, you can speak up.
Forever hold your peace.
A national awareness, right there.
All right, now let me come to you. What did you find for us in the news?
All right, well, I guess it's a continuation of Elsie's story yesterday about ASU beginning the 4-week rollover strike. And governors opposed the action in different state universities. So this is day two of the strike that started yesterday on Monday. And following the government's failure to meet their demands, ASU, the Academic Staff Union of Universities. And the national president, Professor Emmanuel Sedeke, disclosed during a press conference at Unilag at Akoka. He said that since the last meeting that they had in December, the federal government has not answered to the requests that they have asked for, the things that they've asked for. And then they commenced with the strike yesterday. And the interesting thing is that some governors are asking the unions in their different states not to join the strike, so that this is coming at a time where there's a lot. The elections are coming around the corner. There's a lot at stake, and I'm wondering how, if this is feasible, one, because at the end of the day, the people who are really affected by the choices that are being made by ASU are actually the students, and this does not affect private schools as well. So while federal schools are going on strike, other schools continue to have their engagements, and the students are the ones that are losing out.
Sure.
So this is, I'm wondering because a majority of students still attend federal schools, and if most of them are going to be out this season, because it's going to go, the strike is for 4 weeks. So if they're going to be out of school for the period, it's catastrophe right there. We have a lot of people who will not be engaged, who will be idle, and will already have issues that are underlining. We're talking about ritual killing, we're talking about Yahoo. So when the mind is idle, how does it, and I'm wondering if these people are really thinking about, could it be that because the kids are not in private school or are not in these federal schools, they're mostly in private schools? Or why isn't the federal government also paying attention to the needs or to the demands? So these are questions that we're asking.
ASU strike has been going back.
They say when the elephant fights, or it's the grass that suffers. So
the truth is, this issue has been on for too long,
quite some time.
And I also feel like even at this point, we need to even sit with ASU. What really do they really want? Because do you still want children to continue to be in institutions for years longer than the number of years they're supposed to be getting an education? Because it's getting too messy for me.
Remember when we were in school?
I was actually speaking to someone in own schools. Can we find a way that the management of those schools is not handled by the government? It's handled by private organized institutions or organized bodies that are trained to understand administrative, so that whatever funds that is coming and all of those things, it is like the way you have estates these days, where you have the estate management managing and running the affairs of the estate. Do you understand? So if we have something like that, even with our educational institution, I think it will go a long way.
It's pretty sad that the children, or rather the students, basically have to go through or suffer what the bodies of the schools are deciding to do. The parents will also suffer because they're spending longer time in school. They're supposed to spend 4 years. They're spending 5-6 years.
I remember
their parents will spend more money. It's a lot of. In fact, I don't even know how the children of these students and the students are going to manage it. I don't even know how the parents will. Remember when COVID started, and then families have to start thinking of, my children are at home, I have to go to work, I have to. So all of that is still going to affect every other person aside the government. So the government are the people that were fighting, but the children and the
all
students
everybody
and the parents are suffering.
Absolutely. So they have to just.
Completely
That's what I'm
unfair.
saying. That I think at this point we just have to find a solution that is outside of the government intervention.
It's not
Do you
just
get?
about strikes.
Yeah.
It really,
let's find
really
a solution that is more lasting. Alara, let's come to you. What's your story?
My story basically is about a lady that ended her marriage, or rather she was engaged to her man and she broke up with him because of his family. So apparently he lives in Lekki, he's a Lekki big boy, you know, always having parties every weekend, giving millions to friends, and she visited his family at Ejigbo in Lagos State, only for her to find out that his mother sells vegetables in the market and his parents are staying in a house with zinc and all of that, and she felt like, you know what, I don't think I can do this, and she ended the relationship with him. And I feel like that's like the best decision she has ever made, because I mean, for every single woman that wants to get married, everybody always advises you that the way your man treats his mom, the way he treats his family, is going to determine how he's going to treat you. So if right now he's treating you all good, spending the money on you on Gucci and trips, and then you go home and his mother is actually not, you know, living the way his wife or his girlfriend is living. So she felt like, no, I can't do this anymore. I have to end this relationship. And I give her kudos for that, because, I mean, it takes a lot of guts for a woman to be with a man that is rich and decide to say no to it and just, you know, stand on your integrity to hold on to it. That is, I commend her. She really did a great job.
As holding on to your integrity.
Hold
Oh,
on to
mommy,
your
I will run because that money cannot be pure.
Where's the money from?
No, it's true. The money cannot be pure. It's like the
crazy.
Baba has told him that if you take care of your parents, that money is going to disappear. Because I don't understand. I can never for the life of me understand the rationale behind you living in a palatial home and your parents are in a thatched house.
The people that
you understand? The people, your family.
Train
But the thing is that some people just want to run away from anything
that looks like poverty.
reminds
And that's why you should
But you
carry
bring them out of it.
Exactly.
What if they don't want to leave?
And no, there's nobody.
What if they don't want to leave the vicinity?
No man, leave all this year.
I mean, come on. Let's assume that her mom, I mean, his mother and father probably wants to live in that area. Buy them another house. Buy them something. Make sure that even if you're taking them to, like selling ugu in the market,
So,
and then
I'm not excusing what. Don't get me wrong. I'm not excusing what
you do like
he
this
has
now.
done.
You are living under a zinc home, and somebody wants to gift you a house. You tell me no, this is what I want.
Who are you better?
No, they also know better. Let me take that. They also know better. Let me take my story. No, they know better. Trust me.
No, but I mean that doesn't excuse the action. Actually, and we have, unfortunately, we have a lot of people who are.
They are like that. They are plenty
like that. By the time they find out, I mean, the history is bad.
Nigeria's sleepless student trying to beat the Lagos traffic. This was an expose that was done by BBC, and I read it. I thought it was quite interesting. I love to share. Because again, even today as I come, so I know the traffic might enter. And it's actually so interesting that this is the average life of every student in Lagos State. First of all, I mean, my mom was to travel back to Kaduna today. I knew how early she had to wake up, you know, just to go and catch a 9 a.m. flight. And guess what? She spent an hour at VGC just in traffic. Wow. So this young girl, Oluwapelumi Ogbere, she wakes up, so her mom wakes up at 2 a.m. to wake her up at 4 a.m. They leave the house at 4:50 a.m. every single day. In fact, everywhere is dark. I mean, if you look at the stories, there were pictures of her mother and her holding their hands. They live in Ikorodu, and the school is at Ikeja, you know. So they have to wake up to be able to beat that rush hour traffic to make it in time for school. So the report is a beautiful one. Look for it and just read up on it. It tells you how, you know, she's been deprived of sleep, and like her, many other children are being deprived of sleep. And, you know, and what's it called? This movement is also not good in terms of, you know, development, you know, concentrating and all of that, because at some point when you get to class you feel sleepy, you get tired, and there are children that, you know, at younger age, even younger than Pelumi, that even need to wake up. You know, I remember part of why I did not move to my current location was because I loved the school my children were attending on the mainland. So we lived in Magodo until the last child graduated from primary school. Then we now moved to our home in Shangotedo. You know, so I can imagine how some parents have to do all that drive. I grew up waking up at 4 a.m. My father must wake you up at 4 a.m. You come and pour water, anything, just to get up, because we lived at two extreme ends in Kaduna. Sorry, we schooled at two, so our home was at an extreme end, the school was at the extreme end. So we needed to wake up and leave the house latest 5 a.m. And this is Kaduna that has fairly decent traffic. And not to compare with Lagos that is chaotic in terms of traffic. So I would think that, I mean, if the government is looking through this report, it would be nice to understand why she would leave an Ikorodu all the way to Ikeja to go to school. You know, abroad, your vicinity, there is a law that your child has to go to school. So what most people do is that they spend more money on higher rents, so that they can their children can go to those schools within that is, you know, instead of going for a cheaper rent and now go to some schools that are, you know, that are not up to standards. So I think if we start to do those kind of things at every community, every local government area, we have really good standard schools. Because I don't know why Pelum would decide to leave, her mom and her would decide to leave Ikorodu all the way to Ikeja to go to school, because there are government schools in Ikorodu. So what's happening? You know, it's just it's a good read for people to just go through.
I must give kudos to the mom who has committed herself to that, because you can only imagine the number of women who have to do that all over Lagos.
Not only women, even men too.
Yeah, women, men.
Like, just to make sure that children us up every morning.
And imagine where her business is. So what if her business is at Ikorodu?
No, it's possible her business is at Ikeja
as well.
So it's possible, so that after closing from school, she goes to meet the mom. They now come back home together.
But they'll be so tired. They'll have like less than 3 to 4 hours of sleep because coming back home from work. Oh my goodness!
You still go through traffic.
What?
We still need to do something about Lagos traffic.
Trust me. All right. On that note, we want to talk about begging. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, thanks for staying with us. Now, according to a 2013 study, there are 12.4 million Almajiri beggars in Nigeria, 10.2 million of whom are in the north. To understand why they beg, it's important to understand the Almajiri system. Many people in Hausa land give sadaka to Almajiri on daily basis for begging and all of those Almajiris that you see them on the road. But street begging does not apply to Almajiris, as we often see able-bodied men and women on the street on a daily basis begging. Now, the government has tried numerous ways to eliminate or reduce the rate of street begging in Nigeria, to no avail. So we're asking, how do we curb begging, especially this professional begging that we have found ourselves in right now in Nigeria? Now, please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. So this is one topic that is very close to my heart, because every single day you drive on the road, especially in Lagos, on Lagos roads rather, you would find people coming to knock on your door. And you know, when I realized that this begging was no longer a thing of, oh, I'm really hungry, feed me.
It's a profession, it's a job.
Yes, you know why I realized that? So I had a salon car. You know what we call gongoro? You know? So I had that, and I have an SUV that I drive. I realized that every single time that I'm driving my Honda City, with pride. Even though there is AC that is working, they will never come to my window to beg for money.
They know the size of
I say, okay. So that now it has even gotten to the point, I study them a lot when I'm in traffic. I study these beggars. So once they sight a Mercedes tinted, they will just go there. They will stick to that car. The car probably gives them money and all of that. So we all know that begging has become a profession. But at this rate, it is actually really alarming. For this lady numbers, it's just like you now. You have like 50 beggars that you deploy on a daily basis, and they must deliver, because if they don't deliver, you beat them. You make, so that's why they also double up the hustle. Now. It is a cartel, and somebody is watching from the corners to be sure that they are collecting money, and as they are collecting, they are also keeping. So begging has become a profession, right? And I believe we are the ones encouraging them
Because
we keep giving. So how can we curb it? Let me come to your level.
Honestly speaking, in fact, I was a little bit empathetic when I saw the image, because in my head I'm like, why are you arresting her? It's just obvious that if she's been begging every day, and if you notice the way the money has been arranged, it looks like, okay, I've been gathering and I cannot go to the bank to put my money, so I put it under my hijab or whatever, and I still come every day. So that's the amount of money she has accumulated. I was just feeling sorry for her in the sense that if only she was banked, all she needed to do is every day
you go and
deposit your money. But
don't forget, say this is my bank account. Go ahead.
But I mean, aside from that, like, I'm thinking about it from the professional angle, like, oh, these are the things they do on a steady.
Yeah.
It's annoying me, and the reason why I feel upset is because the government know that they can actually help these people in other ways. However, they're ignoring it. And we, the commuters that have to be on the road every day to experience these guys, whether we like it or not, we have to. And there are some Nigerians that we know that are empathetic, like, I mean, you just want to give them. Because if your traffic light has not moved, you're there, they're knocking on your door, you know, knocking on your windows.
Sometimes they spray water.
You know, I mean, at some point, I'm sure some people just say, you know what, just take. The person that would have given her that $100, that was like I'll go lucky day, because I mean, but if something needs to be done, because the more it's been allowed, the numbers would increase. Because I remember back in the day, they used to be light-skinned. Now they're all black. So we're wondering, like, where, like, the whole thing is like,
all those people, those Nigerian
people. So I mean, it's going to get worse, and the number of them are going to be more than the number of cars that they are actually going to meet. So I feel like something needs to be done ASAP.
It's already even happening on Leron, because you see it you can see like 10 beggars clinched to a particular car.
True.
You know, there was a time I came to Lagos many years ago. I didn't understand this, but now I now understood it after many years. So we were I was just coming from, you know, when it's the first time and all of that. So we're in traffic, and I had mints. I can't remember how much they were. I think 200 naira or something. I had mints. So what I did was that I was so empathetic when I saw I said, oh my God, children begging. So I took out 200 naira. Omo. Before I got to where I was going. So it's like they will inform that, that person is a spender. So for every junction, it was on this Falomo, I remember. It was on the island. So as I was going, this one will not come. I will give again. This one will come. So before I knew it, I had actually delivered 2,000 naira to these people. You understand? But let me come to you, Norma. What do you think?
It's really sad that it has come to this.
We're not talking voters' apathy, please.
It's really sad that it has come to this, because and I agree that we have also become enablers. Enablers on so many levels, because we've moved from what we used to see as people who were disabled, people who had issues. You could see physically they could not help themselves.
True.
To able-bodied human beings who would stand and be bold enough to be in front of you and tell you that we want money, that please, you can help them. Children who should be in schools,
like,
not even looking at you, as far as she's concerned.
Begging
that one too would be of age to join the family business. It has not just because I say, oh, that I don't have enough transport money and I'm going somewhere very far, and the next Sunday you see the same person moving from car to car. It has just because. So two things I wanted to talk about it. One is that we have become enablers and there and get handed this, where people who are able-bodied, because I've seen there's some people that I see on the streets as well. They're disabled, but they're selling stuff.
Yep.
So they're not waiting for you to hand down something to them. They have something that they sell. Some of them are selling your face masks. Some of them are selling handkerchiefs. There's something that they're selling. So the environment, the government, what kind of environment are we raising for people to be able to be self-sufficient, to be self-sustaining, and to be independent enough to have dignity of mind and heart to labor for their everyday keep.
So it's interesting that you are raising government, because normally before I will hold my mouth, I will not want to bring government inside the matter. But what you said is very poignant, in the sense that when we have people that are idle, and you just see for every time they just hail politicians and they dole out money, this, you know, election period, you will see plenty of that, where people will just be going and be hailing. They hail that, you know what, I saw a video where the guy says, the truth is I am doing painting for, what's it called, for, I know how to paint, you know, but I don't have money, I don't have food, I don't this, I can paint, you know, you just give me a token that comes to you and all of that. And he did the painting so well to the point that the guys are
creative.
It's the mindset that I have to give value for me to get value back in return. But this is our own here.
So no, no,
do you know you can never try to give a better 10
No, they look at you like, what is it? You know, I'm quickly reminded, you know, last week I had, the whole week was about the funeral, our family funeral that we had to attend. And we went for the proper burial, actually. Everywhere was quiet because we got to the burial ground early enough for, and we were there and just quiet, everyone was quiet. So we just parked waiting for the cops to arrive. And they said, oh, you came for a burial. One of the men looked in and saw the program. And he said, okay, no problem. And we went in and we had our funeral. And right after we were coming out, I was shocked to see the crowd that was waiting at the car park. Young boys, obviously a lot of them under the influence of drugs. And they were all packed, and we quickly got into the cars and they were pounding on the windows. Auntie, wait, anything for us. Stay here, we follow you. If
so it's like they call.
We follow you, go bury person. Now, now do something for us. And it was really distasteful, because you don't even consider the fact that these people have come to bury them. And guess what I heard? That every Friday, that is the order of the day. They know that people are going to come and bury their dead. So every Friday is time, like Kamilera is just, it's time for me to make some money. And they're there to score something that they can use to either go and get drugs or do whatever it is that they want to do.
Okay, so we'd like to open our phone lines. Alera, I'll come to you when we come back from the break. We need to open our phone lines. I would like to hear what you have to say about curbing. How do you think, because I want us to now focus on solutions. How do you think we can curb begging in this country? Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, so if you just tune in, our ladies' night out, and we are asking, our focus is curbing professional begging in Nigeria. How can we do this? Please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. You can also tweet at us at WayShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WayShow. Our phone line is now open. The number to call is 07025007749. Again, 07025007749. Please, when you call, you know the rules. Turn off the volume of your television set so we can hear ourselves. I am begging you, but not professional begging. All right, so Alero, let me come to you because you were itching to talk. Right?
So I mean, the mental health part of me actually has to just speak. So I actually moved to a side of crime or God knows what. So I feel like the first thing we need to do is try to re-educate, and because these guys don't know any better. So we have to just look for a way to make sure that they understand that there's another way. You're doing fine. Let's create, like you said, government has to try. If the government is not even going to try, NGOs should actually try to see how they can educate these people. Because a couple of them, even if you gather like 1,000 of them, out of that 1,000, 100 might be, anticipating and aspiring that, I would love to, drive this kind of car someday. I would love to be the one giving the money out. So I feel like we should try our best to educate them and to just make them understand that there is another way. this begging way that you might have been used to, or that's all you know, is not the way.
Okay, let me take Lucky there and come back to you. I like what you're saying. Lucky, are you there? Thank you for calling from Benin. Or is it Austin? Sorry. Thank you for calling from Benin.
Yes,
are you there?
From Benin. Good evening.
Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. Let me start my comment by saying that you have done very well on this program.
Thank you.
And in Benin, we are looking forward to one of these days when you will engage your services here. You know, and you are Madam Tope Odije. You know, we are looking forward to it. We are not going to ask you for money, we are not asking for money at all, okay? So now, so the topic of the day, the truth of the matter is that the topic of the day, begging, I think begging has come to stay. You know, if you come to Benin now, for instance, it's a terrible situation. You go to Mission Road, just by everywhere in Benin, just like you have in Lagos as well, and other cities. So, I don't know what government is going to do about that, but maybe a kind of resettlement like an IDP camp, I don't know, maybe that's what the government should be looking at. Because the people are not even people that you can say, okay, you want to engage them in farming activities. I'm not sure they are people that you can use for such. So it's a big problem in the society, big problem.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Austin.
Thank you very much.
I like what
that's a beautiful
what you're saying.
suggestion,
Yeah, because
Austin gave
what
there.
you were saying about mental health, what came to my mind is there has to be a sharp break, a sharp cut in that circle. That is a vicious circle.
Yes.
So what you're saying is the child that is being groomed, all the child, and that's the honest truth. You can't give what you do not have, right? You can, when you squeeze these people, it's only
That's
begging
what is going to come
that
out.
comes out of them. No, it's only very few of them that will say, you know what, I'm not about this life. I can become
different.
So they break out of that. So a sharp cut can happen, but you see, it is laws. It is strict laws. And this is where the government must come with a heavy, hammer. Like the way I think Kaduna state government did at some point, where they said every beggar should get off the streets, right? And we as the commuters, we have to stop.
Give it again.
We have to stop. There's nothing you want to do that would get me to give you money that I'm driving. No. I'd rather, instead of begging me, I'd rather give you something to do for me, then I pay you money at the end of the day. I like to have value. You understand? I also like to teach people how to understand what it means for you to earn something. It's more dignified that way. So that thing you're saying about the circle, yes, you're 100% spot on in terms of this is all they know. So if that boy grows up tomorrow, that's all he's going to be doing, right? But see now, there's a security risk with begging. And this is what the government fails to realize. That's why you must get these people off the streets. These people are informants. They are drug peddlers. Yes. They peddle drugs. I remember there was a time at some point where all these ritual killings that they found a madman with 3 heads, smartphones, smartphones and all of that doing. So what is the madman doing with this? So they pose to be. So crime also has taken up those forms as beggars and all those things on the street just to monitor. So somebody is there every day,
and they have high intelligence.
They know your timing.
Know when you're going out, when they're coming back.
They know your timing as you're leaving. They know when you're coming back. So they are monitoring. So they are gathering information. It's just a matter of, okay, I call this person. This is the timing. This is the movement, and all of that, and you're gone, right? So even at that point of security, and all these issues of drugs and all of that is a big deal, right? Norma mentioned something about laziness. It's 100% true, because even us. If you give me chance, me say if I go sit down for house, I'll toss my leg. I'll be sipping champagne and be taken care of. But look at what we're selling. So even the thing has even moved from the street begging. Street begging is one. Professional begging is everywhere, even on social media. Do you know how it irritates me?
Oh my goodness.
That you're using your data.
So
do you understand? Data that you'd have used to be able to look for a job online and be doing to earn money. You are using that. Those are the ones that even irritate me the most.
I mean,
those are the educated
guess what?
ones.
It's because we too have also
We've enabled
it. We are
We've
real
enabled a lot.
enablers. So we need to find creative ways to be able to curb it. Right? I get you that part. But you see, now, Alero, let me shock you. The percentage of those people that do not know better, they are now, it's diminishing.
Sure.
These ones, they are fully fledged, they know. Do you know how many beggars have built houses? You are still the one giving them money.
The lady with the 500,000, what do you think? For all you know, she might even have an estate.
Exactly.
Of course, running
smoothly.
And all of that.
In Ibadan, I remember when I was serving in Ibadan, there is a particular man that was a beggar around that Oluyole area. I mean, everybody knows he's a popular beggar at that area. Apparently, he has different houses. He's a landlord.
And everyone knows.
He's tenants, yes. Everybody knows that he has built houses. But he's a beggar. And he built his houses through that.
And he didn't stop.
Nope.
So tell me how tomorrow you tell the person, let me give you a decent...
For what?
No.
Do you know how much
the money comes easy? The money comes easy. People, a lot of them prey on people's empathy,
emotions.
And their emotions when they see
and
them. Some of them have learned the art
Arts.
of contortion, so they contour their faces. They look so. They are becoming strategic with the begging. It's not even a joke. They have become strategic in the styles that they used to beg. There was one, that we had to actually call police or whatever for them to pick him. Because it was obvious that this person, his intent was becoming disturbing, So, and there are lots of them that you rightly said that some of them have even become intel for, traffickers and different things. So it does not even allow for safety for you, the commuter on the highway. You see some of them, I have had a case where my sister, was in a bus so many years ago. And somebody came in the guise of, oh, please, please, please. Meanwhile, he was studying her. And the next thing she knew was that he grabbed her gold chain, took it off. And then she was like, oh my, before she could catch it, and she was begging, please, let me have it. He said, bring money now. Bring money, I give it to you. Eventually, he walked away with that chain. He's going to sell it, probably use it for drugs and all of that. I understand the part of the mental illness. There are a lot of people who are also unstable out there. And that's where the government needs to partner with, people who are already doing jobs, like you rightly said, NGOs or whatever. But at the end of the day, it is that we truly care for these people and we want a way out. Because giving them money is not the solution.
Yeah, you're just enabling
you will
them.
continue in years, like we said, dynasties will be raised from just that enabling action that you've taken. Before you know it, to the third and the fourth generation, you have beggars. That has become a profession for them, and that is what they're okay with. People need to understand that there is more to just being entitled. There is more to just sitting and waiting for things to come. The person who is even giving you money is going somewhere to work. Is working hard to get that money.
But
they don't have that understanding. For them, it's,
in fact,
you are in a better position than I am.
When you give them, a certain amount of money now, like in an SUV, you give them 100 naira, they say, is this all you could?
Sometimes I don't even have money with me, and I see a young person said, you say you are hungry. I have biscuits because I have kids. I will take a biscuit and give you. Or eat the biscuits. Some take it.
Don't go tell you.
Some look at you as if like, what is this? But you said you are hungry, and I'm trying to solve that particular problem. But now their mindset has even grown beyond. They know what they want, and that's what they're going to get.
Let's take a comment. I think you have a comment.
Okay. Okay. So I have this comment from Benson. Benson says, "Greetings, ladies. The saying that teaching how to fish is superior to giving them fish comes into mind. Once the government makes schooling for every child up to secondary school mandatory, it will greatly eliminate every child on the streets, including hawkers. this is a major way to begin to address this. Thank you, Benson.
That's so true.
So you see, this teaching
education
how to fish,
is very key,
right? This teaching how to fish is what we have. Our system in Nigeria does not encourage.
Should start.
So what we have done over the years, the entitlement. So you finish school, you have a rich uncle. You feel entitled to his money.
Has to give you.
Do you understand? So this thing, if you really want to look at it at all levels, right? We do it at different levels.
Professional begging, right?
It's just that we do not. It's not that some of us do not just go on the streets to do it on social media. We do it to our family members because some family members feel very entitled to your money.
True.
You know, so you are a graduate. My uncle, he's working. He's a big man now. He's working in an oil company or he's working in a bank. He's a director.
It should not be a problem for him.
What is? You know, at some point they tell you, how much is 200,000? Said that you cannot be giving me monthly. That's how they feel. Do you understand? Because that entitlement. This teaching how to fish, that culture is dead in Nigeria because everybody now wants to just hand me the fish.
Yes.
I mean, we were doing recruitment. Last week we talked about unemployment. We were doing recruitment and all of that.
And we couldn't find...
You have been given the job.
I remember.
Right? You have been given the job. Why can you not just, say, this job that I've been doing, let me do it, I've been given. Let me do it diligently and see how I can make something out of it myself. But no, right? Everybody just wants to be handed things to. So how do we stop it? We have to now go back, right? Begin to attach, some level of, Yeah.
Because I mean, the mandatory schooling, it will help. Because imagine that on the road, maybe officials are passing through the road and they say, you arrest the mother, arrest the child,
yes, no,
and put you in custody for some days. When you feel it, nobody will tell you. The next morning, you'll be the one to carry your child to school by themselves and say, okay, you know what? Because I feel like from the ages of 2 to 18, give them free education, and it has to be mandatory. Because I mean, the government needs to remember that they say the youths are the future of tomorrow, but if you don't educate them, how do they become the future of tomorrow? It's not even going to happen. Which means that there will be this divide of the rich versus the poor, and then a couple of people that are even doing well do not even have rich family. There are people that basically struggle through their own life. They say that, oh, I don't want to experience this. I want something different and better for myself. So if the government makes compulsory education, that's
and compulsory quality education.
Exactly.
Because even now, you know what is even more worrisome? The average Nigerian that is even sensible enough to say, you know what, I want to work, I want to earn money. Most of us are migrating. We're leaving the country.
Sure.
It is this referral.
It's still back.
Do you understand? Excuse my French.
It's scary.
It is these people that are not interested in working. They are not interested, and that's why when things like the looting that happened after the NSAS thing, happened, you could see that we were all sitting on a keg of gunpowder because if anything should happen tomorrow, these people will come out in their true colors. I have been in traffic at Jakonde where something happened. I think the government was trying to clear off the market at that Jakonde, the area boys and all of that. So there was now like a tussle, an altercation between the street boys and the government official. The next thing that happened that day, I had to detour from the main road. I entered into, thank God I saw it early. I detoured. Guess what? Those beggars that were at that junction, they were the ones that picked up stones and smashed people's windows, started looting things from people's cars just to take advantage of the altercation that was happening. They took advantage of that, and the cars that were stuck at the traffic light at that junction, most of those cars were vandalized and the people, they were robbed.
I mean, we can't...
Do you understand? So even when we're talking, say, oh, these things, at some point, if you're not giving me the money, because it's not just enough for us to say we should stop giving them the money. If I'm not giving you the money,
what is replacing that?
What is replacing that? So until the government bring out strict rules on ground to say, if I catch anybody on the streets, you understand?
You can't just bring out policies and not put in measures that help the people.
Yes.
Because that's what we've seen over time. For example, when they banned Okadas or whatever, And that was it. You banned them. What did you replace them with? There were no replacements. The same thing with these people. And that's why they chase them away after some time. They come back.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing. I mean, we've seen some of these task force, they come, rustle them into trucks, move them away. And after a few days or a few weeks, they're right back. So we really need to see beyond just the first aid treatment that has gone on over the years and see how these people, like Alera rightly said, education is very, very key. Teaching people how to value themselves more and then earn their keep. Because it's not just enough to give. At the end of the day, when I don't have, what do we do? That means you can even kill me because I no longer have to give you. You understand? And the safety of people are also in the mix. Sometimes when you are at the traffic light at night and they come out and in their numbers and they surround you and you're alone in the car, anything can happen.
Let me take more comments and let her check your phone as well. So begging, they said please be aware of this, that begging is illegal in Nigeria, but only in the southern states. The minimum age of criminal responsibility varies and is either 7 or 12 depending on assessment of the child's maturity. This is from the sections 30 subsection 1 of the Nigerian Criminal Code Act. Okay.
But is that enforced?
Okay, my dear.
It's not enforced.
Alera, your comment.
So my comment is, good evening, ladies. Begging is now not just for the downtrodden. You see able-bodied men and women begging for money, constituting nuisance to citizens. This person is upset. Constituting nuisance to citizens. A lot of Nigerians are lazy now, using the excuse that country is difficult to invade in other people's privacy. I try to ignore most, but easily disturbed by young children and older women begging. I think we should be educated on self-worth. Thanks, BC. This is really, really helpful.
The one that is so painful.
Be educated on self-worth. Because, I mean, imagine I'm asking you for money now. I'm like, give me 10,000 naira. And I'm like, okay, I don't have 10,000, I have 5K. That 5K that I'm telling you that I have, the next thing, the person is upset because I'm going to work so that I can give you this money. So why don't you just work as well so that you can take care of yourself?
Too much to ask.
I have a comment here. It says, furthermore, our politicians have greatly encouraged so much nonchalance in so many youths that they use for their political thuggery. Yeah. Almost all live on handouts. They are begging. I remember back in Uyo when SS to SS to SS to SS to SS was raining. That's another form of, when you were talking about different ways that it shows. I just remember that. So
up this conversation, a lot is really hinged on government's readiness. Because
creating that enabling environment is very key.
The way I look at poverty as a tool for keeping the people politically illiterate, so that you can continue to push for different people that you want in government, is the same way begging has become, a tool. Because if you keep them there, all you need to do during the elections is say, take this money, go and vote for the person that I want to vote, right? So I'm thinking we have to, this thing has to be something that we have to keep talking about and bringing it to the fore until the government is ready to do the needful, because they have to get those people on the roads, off the roads. It says, on the roads today, there are two major menaces, beggars and extortion by road union. Is this the best we can get from our dear country? I don't think so. I think we can do better as a country. Well, we're hoping that people would, they would actually look at it, because today, when I saw that picture, 500,000 naira, $100, this is big business. So you cannot tell me otherwise, to say that, no, don't worry, I am ready to take the insult. Let them insult me all they want. Let them do all the things that I want. Is that money that is in their hand I'm targeting, and I'm gathering the money. So you can now see this is just one beggar. Now imagine their kingpins, because they have kingpins.
It's a cartel now.
How we were able to bust this drug deal, that we were able to find the policeman and the kingpins of the people enabling it. They are enablers for begging. So imagine if we start to say,